Okay, kids. Okay, my kids are up in the rafters in case there's any like tomatoes coming. That's fine. Okay. So thank you so much, Chelsea and Little Patuxent Review for this opportunity. Today I'll share poetry inspired by my parents' life as first-generation Chinese immigrants, my own life as a second-generation Chinese American, and my kids as third-generation Asian Americans. The first two poems I'll read are in the summer Little Patuxent Review edition. The first is called Love Par Avion. To give you a little background on the poem, my parents in the audience today immigrated from Hong Kong and the Philippines in the 1970s for graduate school, and they immigrated to Canada, so they're first-generation immigrants. My dad recently showed me letters that his parents had written to him while he was a student, and that my grandma, Amma, as we called her, wrote to my mom. Of course, back then, there was no email. International phone calls were very expensive, therefore brief. And so they wrote letters with, and you had to use special stamps that were imprinted with the words par avion, so you knew it was airmail, and very, very thin paper. I don't know if you've all ever seen it, but that thin, very almost translucent paper. So it was light and cheaper to mail. So, love par avion. On leaf-thin, quarter-folded par avion paper, my grandma, Amma, wrote in straight columns of Chinese, inked right to left, to her daughter, who rocked her newborn girl beneath fruitless trees with deciduous rubied leaves. Reading Old Chinese, unbroken by punctuation, my mom hears when Amma paused to breathe, finished a thought, questioned if her daughter and grandbaby would root deeply in a cold new country without the warmth of aunties or the tending of cousins. Her letter, a love song's refrain. I hope you are healthy. The baby is well. Send more pictures. My next poem is called Contest, What It's Like to Be Different. I'm new to the poetry world, as Chelsea alluded to, having spent my 20s memorizing the 27 bones of the hand and learning the characteristics of normal and abnormal heart sounds. I didn't think I had time to connect heart to hand and write creatively. So I'm catching up now and learning from you all. And I'm learning about things like contest. And so one contest I came across had the prompt, write about what it's like to be different. And I just could not get over this theme. How would they judge based on how many, identities you had, how different it was? And as a Chinese American, second generation, American in many ways, but Chinese in other, but always looking Chinese and therefore different in this society, I felt like I didn't need a poetry contest to remind me of that. So as these thoughts circled around and around in my brain, I was standing in line at Target at self-checkout, and so this poem was born. Contest, what it's like to be different. Imagine you're in line at the self-checkout. The lady ahead takes too long and asks for help. What's worse, has an accent. People behind silently curse, so you make sure you expertly scan your diced tomatoes, eggs, and Spam. Though you don't have an accent, look how efficient you are, the model shopper. Cringe as you read the news, a recent crime. The writer census labels the perpetrator. Subtitle, the criminal doesn't belong. Confirming the whole lot of us who look different, yet all look the same, are the wayward ones, needing to prove ourselves. Stop when your son laughs at a YouTuber with a fake accent. Not a refined European Siri setting, but more like the lady taking too long at self-checkout. Start to draw lines to connect the accent to his own grandma. Her sentences, home fried rice, Spam, eggs, and diced tomatoes. In this contest, is the winner the one who spins self-checkout into a character-building tale with a clear hero? And finally, I end with a love letter to my own kids, also here, who are growing up as third-generation Asian American kids. Raised by my husband and I, they're once removed from having immigrant parents. And one of my son's favorite meals is dim sum. I mostly know what to order, but dim sum is even tastier when we go with my parents. I think it's because my dad orders in Cantonese. And my kids are more American than I am, and yet, because of how we look, I wonder how similar our experiences will be. This poem was originally published in Gyroscope Review. It's called I'm Glad You Like Dim Sum. We need to teach you Chinese because it doesn't matter that you say the country you were born in was New Jersey. Someone is going to yell at you and on the street someday and tell you to go back. Yes, all the way back to Jersey you go. And where should they go? So you may as well learn the language they think you know, refined over 6,000 years, and hear the slight bump in grandma's voice that transforms bread, bow into carry, beauty, May, and doubled back into little sister. Your Mei asked me why our hair is black instead of yellow, like in all the fairy tales. Let me just say that you are both the most beautiful bread I have carried. I'm glad you like dim sum, the ha gao, siomai, and sweet sesame balls, love and pride all wrapped up in tougher than it looks skin. It's okay that you don't like the chicken feet. Maybe if you weren't actually from Jersey, you would understand how to eat them, because I don't. And that's the end of that. And my son wants to give an update that he does now know how to eat chicken feet, and he does like them. Thank you.